I gotta hit the beat. I gotta hit the beat, beat. I gotta hit the beat. I gotta hit the beat, beat. I gotta hit the beat. I gotta I gotta It's the end of October. Champagne on my shoulder. This is my exposure. Pop that bottle, it's over. It's the end of October. Champagne on my shoulder. This is my exposure. Pop that all night long, but the feeling keeps kicking in. Beef with all the girls, bullshit dripping off the chin. Pop that all night long, but the feeling keeps kicking in. Beef with all the girls, bullshit dripping off the chin.
Bringing anything to the table, bro. I'm not your son, see I'm able. I do my own bits, limited edition on some missing classic shit. I know that you're feeling it. Feel mad, cold nights feel heavy. Same place, going in the heart of the city. Nitty gritty feels iffy and the eyes feel shifty. The shit we're in, yo, it's all mad risky.
All night long, but the feeling keeps kicking in. Beef with all the girls, bullshit dripping off the chin. All night long, but the feeling keeps kicking in. Beef with all the girls, bullshit dripping off the chin.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the House Calls. I am Dr. Quack, and tonight we got a special guest here. I want to bring him on because this man here is the current PPF Pure Champion. Ladies and gentlemen, Brett Jacobs. How we doing?
I'm alive. And that's the best I could say. But I will tell you this. Every day as the champion is always a good day.
I can see that, definitely. That is a beautiful looking title right there. So I'm curious. I want to start out with this because this has been like bugging me since the whole inception of this match. You and Dqhc, you guys went at it one-on-one here. Now, he claims that the only reason you beat him was because of the wind. How do you respond to that?
You know what the really funny thing is when I found out that's why I won, I wanted to give him the rematch just so that way when I beat him again, he didn't have the wind as an excuse. But the funny thing is when I put that challenge out there, it went unanswered. So he could say it was the wind. The judges can say it was the wind. But at least at the end of the day, all I'm gonna say is I gave him the opportunity to make it right, and he still just walked away.
How did you feel about his promo when you saw it?
I wasn't surprised. And you may not know who all of the faction is, but Jason, Jay Sick, he goes from a stable, a trio of 3 men: Sean Gaudioso, Gary Sack, and the man Jay Sick. I have faced all 3 of them, and this runs deep, and this is why I'm saying this. It's like their motto. It's like their the way they live, the faction. They live to not surprise. So with that being said, I looked at J6 promo and I expected the worst, just so that way I would be surprised when he gave me mediocre. That's my thought on it.
Okay. Oh, we got a question already in the audience. Here we go. You know this, man. Old school. What is a good promo artist to you? Ooh, that's a good one.
A good promo artist. I'm gonna say like traits in a good promo artist.
There you go. I think that's what he's meaning.
Realistic, or realism. If you're not dark, don't try to convey to me that you're dark, because I have to believe what you're saying. And if I can see that you don't even believe what you're saying, I'm not going to be convinced that you're some sort of monster. So realism is one of the traits I look for. Punctuality is one of the traits I look for. It's great to use slang. It's great to have stutters, and it's great to pretend you're some psychotic mess. But I'll tell you what, it doesn't run long, and it doesn't get you that far either. So I look for punctuality, because the better you can talk, the better you can do live, the better you can do pre-recorded. So punctuality is something I look for. I don't really look for respect, because there are a lot of people in the hobby I don't respect or even like, but I know they're damn good. They can do a good product. So I don't like them as people. So I'm not going to look for something like respect. It does go a little a ways, but I think for right now, I'm going to say originality, punctuality, and I forgot what the first one was, but that one too.
Well, here's a comment here. We've got, I believe, yep, this is Dqhc. A train is about to steamroll over the careers of David Babel, Law, and Sheamus. If you could only save one, what are you having for lunch?
Pizza.
Pizza.
I'm having pizza for lunch. And if I have to save one, you know what? I think I might do double pepperoni. Double pepperoni for sure. That was a good question. I liked that one. Who did that?
That was really good. I'm hungry now a little bit from it.
That was double A, right?
How we doing, Luke? Let's see what we got here. We got some more coming. Do you consider yourself controversial? Oh boy, the big C word.
Oh, controversial. I think I consider myself hated more than controversial, but I'll tell you what, I'm not afraid to get into shit. I'm not afraid to argue. And if I think I'm right, I will very much so let you hear about it. So if that makes me controversial, I definitely would say yes.
There you go. And we got a lot of questions flying in. What do you consider to be a lazy promo artist? Oh God, the lazy promo artist.
Lack of consistency. That is something I see in every lazy promo artist. They are not consistent. They don't put out their product alone is very fluctuating. It goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. They have their moments, and they kind of get a little far, but their lack of motivation, sometimes it's just because they're not a champion, or sometimes it's because they think they're not getting booked right. Whatever it is, in my opinion, it doesn't matter. But their lack of motivation usually helps deter them from. So I look for a lack of motivation, and I look for lack of consistency. They're not consistent. So those are the two biggest traits, in my opinion. Well,
you got a nice comment here from Sean Shady McKenzie. Jacobs, never heard of her.
Yeah, I've never heard of Shady Sean McKenzie either. But I did ask School about him. You're Shady Sean McKenzie. School said he's okay. Okay, you're okay. Yeah, no, you're good. Yeah, you're fine, I guess.
There you go. Will you ever go blonde again?
No.
No. And why is HHE the greatest group of guys in the promo world?
Consistency. We are consistent. I would like to give credit to BTB, and I know we're going to probably talk about BTB because that's.
Oh yeah, we'll bring that up here.
Yeah, I'd like to give credit to BTB a little bit, but I would like to say Chris, old school Ishler. That dude is the glue that keeps us all together. He keeps us in check, and when he keeps us in check, we work really well together. We mesh really well together. And when we're in check, we are nothing but consistent and dominant. So that's why I think we're the best.
There we go. Hey, guy, you go. Do you see anyone in the promo world as equal to your competition wise? Anybody you're equal?
Yeah. I don't know anything about this guy.
That would be Heathen, by the way, asking this question.
Yeah, of course it was Heathen. He likes to ask. I think he caught wind, so that's why he probably asked this question. I had to do research on this person because I never heard of him. But I asked because I don't have very many people in PPF I could consider an equal. I asked outside of the promo world. There's one person, in my opinion, that I think could take me. And that is A-List Alverson.
Ooh.
Now, like I said, I knew absolutely zilch about him, and I got access to HSP. I got access to their library, and I was able to watch almost every promo he's put up since 2023. And when I got past the annoying voice, I was able to really see what these people were talking about. So I think A-List Alverson is probably the only person that I think could compete with me.
Well, you got somebody else here saying, see you soon, title man, talking about Shady.
Oh, Shady. Okay, hang on. It would be a pleasure to whip that ass.
Yeah. Would you like to talk about the pure challenge that you have going on?
Yeah, so
I'm going to give you the floor for a couple minutes.
I have been promoting for a very, very, very long time, I would say, in the hobby at least, because years in the promo hobby are like decades. It's hard to translate, but I've been doing it for so long, and I have faced so many people, and now I have built up a mantra. Nobody will face me. Nobody. I have problems getting opponents because it's been compared, facing me has been compared to career suicide, whatever. This is a hobby, not a career. But that's what people have said. And I really want to lose. I want to be proven wrong. And the problem is I've never, ever proven wrong. I have not found a single person who has been able to dethrone me in years, other than my friend, somebody I'm willing to take a loss to. I haven't taken a loss from a genuine competitor, somebody that isn't outside of my triangle or circle or whatever shape you want to make. I haven't had a loss. I haven't, and I would love to have a loss. So the pure championship challenge is this, and it's short, sweet, and simple. Anybody and everybody. This championship is defended weekly in PPF, Premier Promo Federation. I want challengers, and I'm telling you this right now. I am so confident that there isn't a single person in the promo world that's going to dethrone me, that I am willing to put this on the line week in, week out, not monthly, not annually, not quarterly, not yearly, weekly. And maybe if I get enough interest, we could do daily. Who fucking knows? All I know is I want competition. So Quack, you can bring yourself back on the screen. All I know is I want competition. So anybody and everybody who's
There's a couple people answering here. Let's see. There's Master of Illusions. He sees you, Jacobs. That's what he says. And of course, you got Shady Challenge accepted. He's even saying make it a three-way between you, A-List, and him.
Oh, no way. I'm not going to give any of them the opportunity of saying it, blaming the other person after I win. No, I prefer one-on-one.
So one-on-one is what it is. Yeah, that is
oh,
a good
yes.
challenge
So
there.
I will say this real quick. A-List.
You may want to tag him, by the way.
Gimmick aside, I'll tell you this right now. You have an entertaining product. I have an entertaining product. You need a title. I have a title. I also have an opportunity. That's all I'm going to say.
Champ, here's no loss for words. I mean, good God. My question here. Now, let's go into BTB here real quick.
Okay.
Because you've got this match now. You and Old School. Old School is the current BTB champion, and he is now giving you a title opportunity. When is that going to take place, and how do you feel about it?
So let me tell you something. The funny thing about BTB is that now it's just a concept. Back in the day, it was a living, breathing entity that people would tune into daily. Everybody would be popping. The group would have the most activity. We had real championships. We were the first group to really do it in as far as I know. Now this group is just a skeleton, and me and School are just two deranged people in a corner using the skull that used to be BTB, and we're just making things up as we go. So as to when that match is going to take place, whenever we feel like it. We talked about doing it last night. We talk about doing it every few days, but I'll tell you something right now. There is one thing I am waiting for before we have that match, and he agrees with me on it too. We want Mr. Entertainment to acknowledge it. And we want Mr. Entertainment to recognize that this opportunity isn't his. And we want him to recognize that just like 5 years ago when he had his hand in the mix and he was able to determine whether I could have a match with Old School or not, I want him to recognize that just like then, he has zero control over what happens next. So until that happens, I think safely, we won't have that match. But we are planning on doing it.
So you don't think he's going to acknowledge this match? I mean, what is the biggest issue?
But he hasn't done it to a degree I would want. He hasn't done it to a way in a liking I would please.
Okay. What's the biggest issue with Mr. Entertainment that you see?
Anybody from BTB is going to know this exact quote, okay? And I'm going to imitate Angelo the best way I can. Hey, yo, Brett, you're my Chris Jericho. And for people who don't understand, Angelo likes to compare himself to The Rock. Angelo, Mr. Entertainment, likes to be The Rock. He likes to cosplay as The Rock and pretend that that's his real life. He pretends that that's how he is. And that's great. And he likes to oftentimes credit that my existence, my success, this hobby that I have just worked so hard to build in numerous groups, not just BTB, but numerous groups I carried on my back to build. He likes to credit himself to that success. So that's my beef. That's probably the biggest thing. And the funniest thing about this whole situation is in the entire time I have promoed, Angelo, Mr. Entertainment, hasn't beaten me once. And I have beaten him in any way possible, and I've taken anything I could from him. And he still hasn't accepted that.
This question could be an entire show in itself. That's from Dqhc, and yeah, I kind of agree there. There could be a lot of talk. Old School's got one more here for you. Most influential person in the promo world.
Most influential person?
Yes. Who would you consider the most influential person?
The cryptic one, Cody Bentley.
Why is that?
Now, I can tell you something. I brought Cody Bentley into this hobby. I brought the cryptic one into this hobby. And when he came in here under the name Mad Dog. He had this whole gimmick made up that he was going to do and he was already ready to do. But he came in under that name, under this gimmick, and already conflicted with somebody else who was running the same gimmick with the same name. And you know what he did? Immediately changed it up right then and there, changed the name and everything. And he built up an even better gimmick, an even better character, an even better name. And that isn't even it. He wasn't even satisfied with that. He built more gimmicks and more names and more gimmicks and more names at different places. He's won championships at different places with these different gimmicks. So I find him to be the most influential because he, unlike me, can branch out, do different things, and actually succeed. Whereas me, I can reinvent who Brett Jacobs is. I can give myself a different mantra, maybe like the Chris Jericho, but I can't change who I am. I can't change how I act. I can't change how I think. I can't change how I feel and how I believe. That man can. So in my opinion, he is the most influential promo artist I've ever met.
That's a good answer. Oh, here we go. Oh, yeah, this is one of these ones I like to ask. From Malice, toughest opponent.
It takes a lot. It takes a lot to beat me. And I think the toughest opponent I've ever had is one of my losses. It was, I think, 2020, maybe 2019, maybe. It was against Kurt Adams. I was the LPW champion. At that time, actually, I think I had 4 different world titles from different places, and I was running some gimmick where I was just kind of like the Kurt Angle, Samoa Joe, running around with a shit ton of belts. He was able to beat me by doing, I don't know how he was able to get such great cinematography, but he even used a drone and was able to give himself an insane great front view and then angled himself up. And I'm not going to lie, that was probably the toughest opponent I've ever had to face. And he beat me. So that says something.
There you go. Shady asking goals for 2024. What's a big one here?
More opponents than 2023. 2023, and I'm not setting a very high bar here because 2023 is when I kind of came back. I took maybe like a year or a year and a half hiatus. 2023, I maybe had like 4 opponents. And so the goal for 2024 is to not only have more opponents than 2023, but to have different opponents, people I haven't faced. That's why I really want to emphasize this challenge, because I want the best. I want different. I want new.
Definitely. Here we go. Here's another one. What needs to change in the promo world? God, everybody's coming out with the firecracker questions.
Changes in the promo world. Maybe deleting 98% of the groups. Back when I was promoing, when groups were more consistent, I'll tell you this right now. Let me ask you a question really quick, Quack.
Yeah.
Have you been in a single promo group where they have had more than 3 championships and where each championship had at least 10 different contenders? That's 30 different competitors. Have you been in a scenario like that?
Not really, no.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, if we got rid of 98% of the promo world and condensed it and got rid of a lot of the toxicity and brought in these people who are actually here to have fun and use this as a real hobby, we could actually have things like that again. I had things like that with BTB. LPW was even trying to do it. They had it for a little bit. PPF had it when they had started. The only other group I know of that does it is IW, and they're garbage.
Good old IW. And nobody likes. Why don't you like IW? Why are they garbage?
Dude, they're fucking storyline. They're storyline fed, man. All I need to know is that the guy who runs the group is getting his bills paid by a bunch of basement dwelling, no life having, broke back mountain loving, paycheck to paycheck living divorcee dudes. He has his stuff funded by those guys so they can feel like they're great at something. That's all I need to know.
Well, you heard it there. Here we go. We got some more. I don't even have to ask many questions here. Do you believe it's a popularity contest in the promo world?
Popularity contest. I don't know, not really, but it does depend. It does depend if the group owner is the top champion. It definitely, in my eyes, can be a popularity contest, because as long as that guy has praise, as long as, and I've seen this, that's why I'm saying this, as long as that guy has praise from the people below him, they will always continue to be successful. So if that guy is their world champion, if that guy tries to buy their happiness with success and belts, that it can definitely be a popularity contest. But I don't think it is that way most of the time.
Okay. Here, let's do a little bit of word association here. I'm going to ask you some words.
Okay.
Curious your thoughts on it. Green screens. Let's start with that.
Word so that's just one word, right?
No, it's your thoughts on it.
Oh,
You go
just
ahead,
thoughts
give
on
your
green
thoughts.
screens? They're okay. If you can do it, I guess. But nothing's better than going outside and touching grass like a real person.
I agree. Yeah, that makes sense. Multi-man matches. Triple threats, 4-ways, 6-mans, battle
I'll tell you
royals.
what, if you can do it, if you can have a match with 6 individuals and you can give them 3 minutes and they can, and all 6 of them can put out a decent promo talking about 5 other people on top of why they're the best in under 3 minutes, maybe. It's not impossible, but I'll tell you what, if somebody's going to do it, you need to make sure you know exactly who you're putting in that match.
Okay. Oh, here we go. Touch some grass. TJ Blair.
TJ Blair?
You know that name?
No.
No, that's from Shady. That's who he's tagging, I think, in this.
Oh, I see.
Okay,
Shady.
touch some grass. Hashtag. Here we go. HHE.
What about it?
What's your thoughts on it? How do you enjoy being in that group?
It is probably the best decision I've ever made. I mean, I safely, I am one of the founding members. The founding 4 were me, Cody Bentley, Junior Ishler, or the Rising Sun, and then Chris Ishler, old school. So it's been one of the best decisions I've made in this hobby mentally, because like I said, I look up to Chris. Chris is the glue that keeps it all together, because he knows the know-how on the promo world. And I know safely, if I wake up and say, Chris, is there anywhere that's worth my time? Is there anywhere that I could be right now? If he tells me yay, I will go. If he tells me nay, I'm staying. So I would say safely that the HHE has been more than just a promo stable. It has been a really good it's been a really good position for my mental stability as well. Because not only do I have this, like I said, the example I gave you, but I also have some really great guys that I am just really great friends with that I can trust.
Yep, old school saying humbled, but you guys keep me straight.
Yeah, he likes to say that.
He does like to say that. He is. And there you go. There's double A. HHE is a brotherhood.
Exactly. And yeah, we handle the bullshit with ourselves as a team. We handle the controversies as a team. We make all of our decisions as a team, like a legitimate team. At the end of the day, the promo stuff could die, the hobby could die as a whole, and I could safely say I'm still going to be talking to these guys because we are genuine friends, and it is a brotherhood.
That is what it's all about, I believe. Yeah, definitely.
In my opinion, it is.
Yeah. I got one more here for you on word association. Live battles.
I love them. If there were people who could actually do it, I would do it.
Would you defend your title in a live battle?
I would love to.
Ooh.
I would like to say that would be the only thing, if I did it, that would be the only thing I would ever even consider giving Angelo credit on. Because back when BTB originated, what even got us so popular was because Angelo could go live and run his mouth for hours and continue to keep an audience of 30 members. If that many showed up, there were a lot of mistakes that were in the way. Like he would go live either at the butt ass crack of dawn when people are still asleep, or he would go live so late in the evening, nobody was going to be willing to give them 4 hours, let alone 4 minutes of their time. So it kind of failed, but he could do it. And yeah, live promos, live battles. If you have people who are good enough, do it.
Definitely. I mean, I love to see live battles here when they're fought for titles. That's how it really separates the men from the boys, in my opinion. Going live is a whole different beast.
It's a whole different beast because a lot of people who like to focus on the camera work, they like to focus on their background, they like to focus on the visual edits. You don't get that in a live battle. In a live battle, you want to win this from me, you need to use your words. That's all that you can do.
That is very true. Here, let's move in. I'm kind of curious here. Now, do you watch WWE, AEW? Neither. How do you feel about today's product?
New Japan's always been my favorite, but that's just because, and a lot like the promo world, and a lot just like in my day-to-day life, I look for consistency. And New Japan has always been one of the most consistent products. And I think it's because they view it more as a performance art form, not like a live TV show where they have to keep viewers engaged. They look at it like it's a performance. So they've always been the most consistent, and I favor them a lot. But I would definitely say AEW, really good. I love AEW. WWE, they're okay. They're okay, I guess. And oddly enough, I like TNA. TNA's got a lot of good stuff. I love TNA.
Yeah, I mean, you got a lot of stuff all around the world here. I've noticed a lot of promotions are now going international. Like you've got the Elimination Chamber that's happening in Australia. You've got, I believe, All Out happening over in the UK at Wembley Stadium again next year. Do you feel that's a good thing or a bad thing for the business?
Oh, such a good thing. Wrestling, weirdly enough, has become a little bit more popular over the past few years. It's weird that it has become a bit more popular because it's always been the outcast sort of hobby. A lot of people who grew up with it were often like, some were bullied, or some people it was a very rare occasion where people weren't kind of like an outsider growing up with wrestling. Now it's a bit more popular. It's a bit more liked, and I think it's viewed a bit better. So I think it's great. I enjoy it. The further they can go, the more they can travel, the more they can cross over. I'm down with it.
Here we go. Royal Rumble's coming up. Who do you got winning it, from the men or the women? You can tell me both or either.
I don't know who the runner-up for the women is. I haven't been keeping up with WWE. I know CM Punk's running in the Rumble. Story-wise, I feel like he's probably going to win it. But if I have a hope for somebody who wins, somebody I would like to see win, Jesus, I'm trying to remember who they have running up. Who they have that are popular.
Oh, they've got people. I mean, they've got The Rock back now, and they've got, Randy Orton's now back.
Randy Orton's okay, I guess, but I don't think he would win a Rumble.
Oh, God, here we go. Old School went international, I believe, for the BWB World title, beat Toko Pogo Tanahashi. What? Breaking news.
Of course.
He was on the cover of that Japanese magazine.
Well, you know what? I don't blame him. Angelo has actually started doing this thing where he's mimicking Old School. While Old School's traveling, defending the BTB World title, he's like, "Oh, I'm busy touring," but the only thing he's touring is his living room.
Oh my God.
So I'll tell you this. For a women's match, I would like to see Gigi Golden. I followed her on the indies when she was Priscilla Kelly. She's a good wrestler. She'd be cool to win. And for the men's, Cody Rhodes keeps getting screwed, man. I would really like to see Cody Rhodes have a bit more success. So I would like to hope he would win. But I'm also a mark for Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, a lot of people like him, definitely. I mean, he's definitely a talented wrestler. So let's go into some rapid fire questions before we wrap this up here. First, do you have any advice for any young promo artists?
No.
Not at all.
What worked for me will not work for them. I've had multiple people try to copy me and mimic how I have done promos in the past, and it just doesn't work. So I thoroughly believe that my advice, how I would say it, would not be interpreted in the way that they would need it.
Okay. Favorite match you've been in?
Me versus the Rising Sun for the unified title. Even though I lost, it was pretty good. I got my ass whipped.
It does happen.
Oh,
favorite match you were a fan of that you weren't in?
That I wasn't in, that I was a fan of. I followed Malice versus Dqhc pretty heavily, and I was a big fan of that one. Malice always puts on a good show, and Dqhc always knows how to tear the house down, so they always do a good show.
There you go. And finally, what's your favorite scary movie?
Halloween, John Carpenter's Halloween.
1978.
Yes, I have on my, if I can take this jacket off, I have a nice expensive tattoo dedicated to John Carpenter's Halloween. Right there.
Well, let's see that. Oh, wow.
But yeah, it's a nice little piece.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would be my favorite horror movie.
Definitely a fan of that. You can't go wrong with Michael Myers. I mean, they're talking about making another one.
Exactly, and he's already dead. So
I'll tell you, Hollywood, you gotta love it. But that's the end of our show. I want to thank you all for tuning in here. Thank you, Brett Jacobs, for coming on here. If you're looking to get into that PPF Pure Challenge there, you can get a hold of Brett Jacobs. You can get a hold of Old School. He is the owner of Premier Promo Federation. He will definitely set you up there, I'm sure. But up next here, next Tuesday, we have Young Gun coming on here. We're going to talk to Steve Faison. We're going to talk some BWO, some WGP, and much more. I'm Dr. Quack. Thank you, Brett Jacobs, and we'll see you next time.
Anyone and everyone, baby.